In the sweet science of boxing, where power, precision, and strategy converge, one punch stands above all others in its universal importance: the jab. Often described as the most fundamental and versatile weapon in a boxer's arsenal, the jab is not merely a punch, but a tool that sets the tone for a fight. It controls distance, dictates pace, disrupts rhythm, and creates openings for devastating combinations. In this video, we explores why the jab is the most important punch in boxing, and examines how iconic boxers like Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, and Vasyl Lomachenko have used distinct jab variations to cement their legacies. Variations of the jab and their masters. While the jab's core mechanics remain consistent, its execution varies widely depending on a fighter's style, physical attributes, and tactical approach. The following sections explore how 5 legendary boxers transformed the jab into a signature weapon, each with a unique variation that contributed to their dominance. Muhammad Ali, the flickered jab. Muhammad Ali, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, revolutionized the jab with his flicker style. Ali's jab was lightning fast, it delivered with a loose wrist and a slight upward snap resembling a whip. Unlike traditional jabs aimed at causing damage, Ali's flicker jab was designed to irritate, distract, and control. He threw it from a low guard, with his hands often dangling near his waist, relying on his unmatched reflexes and footwork to avoid counters. The flicker jab allowed Ali to maintain distance against aggressive opponents like Joe Frazier and George Foreman, keeping them at the end of his reach while he danced around the ring. Ali's jab was particularly effective in his 1974 Rumble in the Jungle against Foreman. By peppering Foreman with quick, stinging jabs, Ali disrupted the heavyweight champion's rhythm and exhausted him over 8 rounds. The flicker jab's speed and unpredictability made it difficult to counter, and Ali's ability to throw it in flurries, sometimes 3 or 4 in rapid succession, overwhelmed opponents. His jab wasn't about power, but precision, targeting the eyes or nose to disorient and demoralize. Ali's flicker jab remains a benchmark for boxers seeking to combine speed, deception, and control. Larry Holmes, the piston jab. If Ali's jab was a rapier, Larry Holmes's was a battering ram. Known as the Easton Assassin, Holmes possessed one of the most devastating jabs in boxing history, often described as a piston for its relentless mechanical power. Holmes's jab was thrown with a stiff arm and a slight step forward, generating force from his legs and core. Unlike Ali's flickering style, Holmes's jab was a weapon of attrition, capable of bruising, cutting, or even knocking out opponents. He used it to dominate the heavyweight division for 7 years, defending his title 20 times. Holmes's jab, shown in his 1980 fight against Muhammad Ali, where he used it to control the aging legend. By snapping his jab with surgical precision, Holmes kept Ali at a distance, preventing him from unleashing combinations. The piston jab's power came from Holmes's ability to transfer weight into the punch, making it feel like a miniature straight right. He also varied its rhythm, sometimes doubling or tripling the jab to catch opponents off guard. Holmes's jab was a masterclass in blending offense and defense, as he used it to set up his devastating right cross while keeping his chin protected. Sugar Ray Leonard, the stinging jab. Sugar Ray Leonard, the charismatic welterweight and middleweight champion, wielded a jab that combined speed, accuracy, and versatility. His stinging jab was a hybrid of Ali's flicker and Holmes's piston, delivered with a crisp snap that targeted an opponent's face or body. Leonard's jab was integral to his hit-and-run style, allowing him to dart in, score points, and retreat before opponents could counter. His footwork and head movement complemented the jab, making it a dynamic tool for both offense and defense. In his 1981 showdown against Thomas Hearns, Leonard's jab was a game changer. Facing a taller opponent with a longer reach, Leonard used his jab to close the distance, nullifying Hearns' own vaunted jab. By targeting Hearns' body with low, digging jabs, Leonard slowed the hitman down, setting up his knockout flurry in the 14th round. Leonard's ability to vary the jab's speed and target, sometimes flicking it to the head, other times driving it to the body, made it unpredictable. His stinging jab exemplified how a single punch could control a fight's tempo and outcome. Floyd Mayweather, the check jab. Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated defensive genius, redefined the jab as a reactive counterpunching tool. His check jab was a short, sharp punch thrown to intercept advancing opponents, disrupt their momentum, and create space. Mayweather's jab was less about scoring points and more about neutralizing threats. He threw it from his signature Philly shell stance, with his lead shoulder raised and his right hand guarding his chin, making him nearly untouchable. The check jab's precision and timing allowed Mayweather to dominate fights without relying on power. In his 2015 Fight of the Century against Manny Pacquiao, Mayweather's check jab was instrumental. As Pacquiao pressed forward with aggressive flurries, Mayweather used the jab to stop him in his tracks, forcing resets and frustrating the Filipino star. The check jab's defensive utility lay in its ability to interrupt combinations while setting up Mayweather's counter right hand. By throwing the jab sparingly but with pinpoint accuracy, Mayweather conserved energy and maintained control, showcasing the jab's role in a defensive masterclass. Vasyl Lomachenko, the feint jab. Vasyl Lomachenko, the modern-day virtuoso, uses the jab as a psychological weapon, often as a feint to manipulate opponents. His feint jab is a subtle, probing motion that baits reactions, allowing Lomachenko to exploit openings with his dazzling footwork and angles. Lomachenko's jab is less about landing and more about setting traps, making it a cornerstone of his cerebral style. His amateur record of 396, won and multiple world titles across weight classes attest to the jab's effectiveness in his arsenal. In his 2018 fight against Jorge Linares, Lomachenko's feint jab was on full display. By twitching his lead hand or stepping forward with a half jab, he forced Linares to flinch or commit to counters, which Lomachenko then capitalized on with hooks or uppercuts. The feint jab's deceptive nature allowed Lomachenko to control the fight's psychology, keeping opponents guessing and off balance. His ability to integrate the jab into a broader matrix of movement and angles makes it a uniquely modern variation. Conclusion: the jab's status as the most important punch in boxing is undeniable. Its versatility, efficiency, and strategic value make it the backbone of any successful fighter's game plan. From Muhammad Ali's flickering irritant to Larry Holmes's piston-like power, Sugar Ray Leonard's stinging versatility, Floyd Mayweather's defensive check, and Vasyl Lomachenko's psychological feint, the jab's variations reflect the diversity of boxing itself. Each of these legends tailored the jab to their style, proving that a single punch can be adapted to dominate in countless ways. Aspiring boxers and fans alike can look to the jab as a symbol of the sport's elegance and complexity, a reminder that in boxing, the simplest tools often yield the greatest rewards.